heavens have opened for us forever. We took things for granted. In just 4 years, we woke up the next day to...
All right, you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Audu Mora. It's always a pleasure to be here. All right, so I'll be introducing my guests for us to review the papers, but we just thought it appropriate and as journalists to do some little follow-up and some more interrogation and also some more analysis of this matter which has been raging for a while now. It has to do with Gold Board on one hand, so Gold Board, Bank of Ghana on one hand, and then also the minority led by the Honorable Alexander Afenyo on the other hand. Now, it has to do with some 22 billion cedis loss which has been incurred from the domestic gold purchase program. Now, the minority leader has been insisting that Gold Board must take responsibility for it, even though it's on the books of the BOG. Gold Board, on the other hand, has said on the face of the facts or the data, it cannot be. And indeed, we've looked at it. Indeed, it's not the case. Gold Board has not made any loss. Now, this matter has degenerated onto a point where the Gold Board Chief Executive Officer, when he held a news conference, made some allegations, even though not directly at the minority leader, but they talked about some extortionists and all kinds of things. He used those expressions. And indeed, over the weekend, he subsequently now confirmed that indeed the minority leader allegedly had engaged allegedly in some extortion, activities. Now you notice that.
Whenever I say PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
I think that, when I walked in this, and good morning to Honorable.
Good morning, Akosua.
Mr. Hussein. When I walked in, you were actually stating that there was a caucus meeting in relation to...
I read it from my Joe online, yes.
Yes, but I think that as an independent media house, it should have been cross-checked or verified. Otherwise, it feeds into a certain agenda.
I agree with
and
you.
Even with the interview you were granting, you used that saying the caucus has called them into a conversation, and for which the Dr. Draman, answered you by saying it was even premature for them to even think anything along the lines of him.
No, actually, what I asked Dramani was whether it would be fair for anybody to ask Afenyo to. He said, no, it's premature. And I said, yes, of course, I agree with him, because we've seen instances in the past where people were not made to step down, so nobody should do that. But the issue about the convening of the minority caucus to look into the matter was based on the Joy FM report. And he said he also had heard. I'm sure it was also from the same Joy FM report. So I think that a correction from Afenyo is timely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've listened at length to Honorable's take on the matter.
Right.
And I align with him on the narrow point. Okay, that the $1.7 billion loss sits on the books of BOG.
Right.
However, the IMF says the loss was occasioned by the GDPP.
Fact.
Yeah. So whether it appears on Gold Board's balance sheet or it appears on BOG's balance sheet, we have a right to question what caused the 1.7 billion loss.
Yes. Valid.
Yeah.
Who is responsible for the design, the pricing, the implementation, the decisions? If Honorable sits here to say that PMMC transferred its liabilities to Gold Board, it doesn't feed into this conversation, because the loss is clear. It's ring-fenced against 2025. 2025, Gold Board was in operations. 2025, Gold Board changed the architecture of PMMC in becoming Gold Board. As we all heard with the fanfare and everything, Parliament gave it the monopoly. Right? Sole aggregator combined as a sole regulator, inclusive of a task force to implement whatever price they set. If we sit here to make this a conversation of Sami Gyamfi and Afenyo marking, we are being disingenuous to the good people of Ghana. 1.7 billion. If you look at the audited report of Gold Board itself, it talks about a $10.8 billion benefit to the country as far as its operations are concerned. Yet, we are well aware of the quantum sum of the equivalent of 133 million cedis, right, that the BOG gave to Gold Board. The minority, as far as we sit here, Honorable is interested...
Actually billion, 135 billion.
Sorry,
Yes.
133 billion.
Yeah.
Thank you. As far as we are concerned sitting here, Honorable is also interested in what is contributing to the loss. I don't think he's running away from that fact.
Yes, I'm interested.
As a former parliamentarian, and if he was in opposition then, he would have asked for a probe into the matter, into an inquiry. Interestingly, this government at Parliament, and of course, they do the bidding of Jubilee House, shut down the inquiry from the minority. So it is not Anti-Efia sitting at Adenta Market who has to determine where the loss resides. Anti-Efia should be concerned because taxes will be laid on her and we'll all have to pay. $1.7 billion should be the conversation. You see, I don't want to get into this Afenyo marking Sami Gyamfi fan club because it creates a certain impression. If we are to get into that accusation, Honorable Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah first went, stepped into the fray with this conversation when the IMF talked about the $240 million loss in relation to Gold Board, right?
Yeah.
What didn't we hear the same CEO of Gold Board say about him? He's not an accountant. Rubbished him, his experience, his pedigree, even the time he spent in Parliament and the experience he's gathered. Take that fact away from Kojo that he's an established individual who has experience, even in finance, in economy. He speaks intelligently to it. He rubbished him and said he didn't know what he was saying. Former Deputy Minister of Finance, Abena Osei-Asare, Honorable, also raised questions. They dealt with her the same way. She's incompetent, she's reckless, she's useless, she's silly. They use all sorts of invectives on her. Now, the hilt of it is what Honorable Afenyo marking is going through. Complete character assassination. What am I saying? It's establish a pattern. Anybody who questions Gold Board or BOG, so long as Gold Board is in the conversation, you are going to face personal attacks and insults. But those personal attacks and insults should not distract us. At the very least, the same CEO of Gold Board told us that Dr. Bawumia owned Haptel, and that if any Ghanaian that buys electricity, who loads the unit on their meter, has inherently put money on into the bank account of Dr. Bawumia, which is running his campaign. He said that. A lie. This same gentleman was sued by Honorable Dr. Matthew Puku-Prempeh, wasn't he? And for which he won. He went to the appeals court, did he not? In fact, when he went to the appeals court, he didn't proceed till his government came to power, and for which that defamation has been squashed. Has it not? So if a liar tells you to go to court, then it means that he knows the judge. That is what he's essentially saying. Sami Gyamfi is a known liar. From talking about, who owns Haptel, from even creating scenarios out of thin air about people that he even still sees and greets and shakes. Even defamation on your colleague journalist, Kwame Sefakai, And today, he's talking about the impugning his integrity. He's talking about it's not fair to level accusations again. When did he realize this? At the very least, even his posture in responding to the issues where Ghanaians are concerned. Why are these losses coming? You said you've given us a benefit of $10.8 billion, but there's a loss of $1.7 billion. Why can't we talk about it? Why are you so agitated when that conversation comes? And instead of submitting yourself to Parliament for an inquiry, you take to media houses and radio stations with your PR machinery behind you, and all they amplify is the insults and attacks on the people who are raising meaningful questions. The voter does not care the personal relationship or whatever has transpired between Sami Jemfi and Afenyo Market. The voter is concerned because 1.7 billion more, 1.7 billion, which is about 1.5% of our GDP. If the program is going so well, why are they reducing the cost? In fact, the cost of that program is 14% of the amount. Honorable, on 25th February 2025, the sitting president told us that we need $1.7 billion to finish Agenda 111. That's what the president told us a year and a half ago, that we need $1.7 billion to finish Agenda 111. Same president is comfortable that somebody is appointed to the gold board through his operations has cost the state $1.7 billion.
No,
and is not concerned.
No. I want you to state.
Yes.
Don't distort.
I will not distort the news. I'm stating the fact. IMF says there's a loss of $1.7 billion.
IMF did not
the
say
president
that.
should be concerned. Yes, the IMF said the loss arose from the domestic gold purchase program. That's
Who runs that? Who runs that policy?
Oh.
Yes. You see, in interpreting issues, you have to put them in proper perspective.
If you want to take the young man out of that conversation, then you are wrong. Because Gold Board runs an operation. What do they do? Gold Board took $133 billion to run an operation and brought back less back to BOG. It sits on the books of BOG.
And brought back what?
What occasioned the loss?
And brought back what?
So at the end of the day, the 1.7 billion is not in doubt. You sat here to agree.
Don't set your own issues.
I'm not. You know what? You sat here to make 70% of your argument about the accusations on Afenyo Market.
On the news.
You made, yes. I am saying that forget that.
I should forget that.
No.
You want to set your own parameters.
I'm telling you that Ghanaians should be concerned about 1.7 billion because that argument is a distraction. You are using that to run away from the quantum sum of $1.7 billion. $1.7 billion can complete Agenda 111. Why? Because John Mahama, the president, told us that he needs 1.7 billion to finish Agenda 111.
It's true.
As we sit, $400 million is needed to set up the Women's Development Bank, for which the vice president, using very flowery language, made women in Ghana appreciate the fact that, when the NDC comes, they are going to set a bank that will do this. $400 million is all that is needed. 2 years on, we haven't seen the bank anywhere. $1.7 billion can set up 4 banks. 4 of the Women's Development Bank. So I am concerned. I am not interested in their court case because an established liar, when he says you should go to court after he throws allegations into the air, knows the judge. That is why he's saying what he's saying. So that conversation is already he knows what he's going to do. I do not care about that. I care about $1.7 billion. I care about the fact that it can establish 4 women's development banks. I care about the fact that that loss could have completed Agenda 111. That is what we should be concerned about. I am very mortified that the minority in asking for a probe and asking, come to Parliament. It is the most reasonable thing to do. Not to sit on Asempa, go to Joy News, go to Adum, set bloggers, turn on live, go on TikTok and be insulting everybody. To the point where his own campaign manager, when he first wanted to run as comms director, I believe, Honorable Neil Vanderpool. He was Sami Jemfi's campaign manager. In doing the most prudent thing, when a young man has shown ineptitude and incompetence, and in responding to issues, denigrates everybody, comes to apologize because it's the right thing to do. Within hours, has retracted. He resets his own apology. Even see how the public accepted that apology from Honorable Neil Vanderpool. The public did, thought it was the most mature thing to do. Yet in his own party, no. He is the most smartest, intelligent boy. Even IMF doesn't know what they are saying. The most smartest, intelligent CEO who has brought us 10.8 is upset that we are asking him about 1.7 billion loss. 1.7 billion. And if it is so amazing, as they say, why are they redefining the cost of productions and looking at it from 14% to 5%? We need to know. And that conversation should not sit on TV programs or sit on radio stations. It should go to Parliament. The majority should embrace it and not dismiss it. And let's get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
So please, personal issues are not what I'm interested in. Personal friendships, we do not care. The voter does not care what their relationship is or whatever. It is merely a distraction. And the reaction shows that there's a panic. Honorable Atuforsen has questions to answer. The governor has questions to answer. Sami Jemfi has questions to answer. 1.7 billion, we should all be worried. And guess what? That's 2025. We are in August of 2026. Per the laws, if I'm to make a projection, I'm sure that we are almost past $2.5 billion. Moro, it is so shocking because we can't even appreciate the quantum loss that we are talking about. So the program, as they claim, that we established, they accept that fact, was good, but it was bad because there were losses. Then when you come, you make it a monopoly, you make it a sole regulator, you put in a task force, and when there's a loss and we're asking questions, it's not insults, it's not attacks, you confiscate the issues and draw lines that are not even in existence into the conversation. And my honorable here, who was once a member of parliament, is not concerned about what the good people of Ghana are losing with $1.7 billion and wants to make it a question of who said what and whether somebody asked for something or not. If indeed that happened, then he is a lawyer. Extortion is a crime. If you know for fact, put your evidence out there. But that is not the conversation. 1.7 billion could complete Agenda 111. Your policy head for 24-hour economy, Guzi Tano, sits at the Jubilee House. So frustrated, he came to complain to voters, saying that he needs $4 billion for the 24-hour economy policy. He needs $4 billion. The 24-hour economy was your flagship policy. We had free SHS. Within the first year of our governance in 2017, we implemented free SHS. You said 24-hour economy. Your policy head is saying you need 4 billion. And in the 4 billion, somebody in 1 year has cost the state 1.7 billion. How much is that compared to the 4 billion? Even if that you mitigated that disaster and supported the policy unit with that fund, wouldn't it at least giving you some credit?
Akosua, let me ask
As
you
we
this.
speak,
Let me ask you this, Akosua.
he's lamenting publicly, telling us the failures of this government. Because clearly, there was no plan in place for 24-hour economy.
Okay, so Akosua,
Even in the budget, there was no budget for it in the first
Akosua,
place.
let me ask you this.
So 1.7 billion is what we are interested in.
Right.
That is what the voter is
That's fine.
concerned about. They don't care about anybody's personal
Yes,
issue.
Honorable.
Yes.
So Honorable asked the question, Akosua, and he said, by the very nature or the model that the associated with the domestic gold purchase program, it is designed to make losses because of its overarching objective. And that's why he started with 2022, 2023,
It was set up
2024.
to make losses. That's what he said.
Exactly. Now, and then he said that even in 2024, we made a loss of $400 million. Now, in all those years, it didn't become an issue. why is it becoming an issue today? And then why do we want to blame somebody for a structural design or the model which Parliament itself agreed and signed up to? Why do we want to blame somebody for this? And I noticed that that's missing in your submission, that these losses have been occurring.
Okay.
Why is it an issue today?
Okay. So I want to. It's when you said, Honorable said, Gold Board by its operations is designed.
No, I didn't say
No, not
Gold
Gold
Board.
Board. The domestic gold purchase program.
program.
Yes,
Oh, the
program.
domestic gold purchase
Yes,
program was
yes.
designed to make.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
that's
yes.
got policy objectives.
Yes.
And to achieve those policy objectives,
It's going to come at a certain cost.
Okay.
That's what I said.
So there will always be operational costs,
Right.
no matter what policy program is implemented. But that cost should not be at such a burden. We should not sit here and say this. I've heard them say this, that Bank of Ghana is not designed to make profits. These same people went on demonstration against Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana had made a loss. These same people now telling us that the Bank of Ghana is not meant to make profit, but they went on demonstration that Bank of Ghana had made losses. Again, I thought you were going to point out something he said when he said Gold Board doesn't sell gold.
No, it doesn't sell gold.
But the Gold Board Act,
Yeah.
Gold Board is the sole buyer and seller of small-scale mining gold on behalf of BOG. It trades. So let's not even dismiss. It's like they quickly want to run away from that fact when it's necessary.
No. The one who sent you
Parliament gave you a monopoly.
The one who sent you the text, send me that text. I want to explain.
There's a video. I wish you could play it.
Okay.
But often, that's the bane of being in opposition.
Yeah.
We never go on a program and show a video that buttresses our points that produces. I'm telling you, since we came to opposition.
Right, please, let's play this
Any video that buttresses the point.
What video is that? Please send it
Jamfi on Asempa
saying that what?
talking about losses incurred and this was when he said it was PMMC.
Okay.
And BOG at the time. That in trading, when they come back to BOG, they pay at Bloomberg price. Right. And said, even though the policy was good, on that fact alone, it was bad. Guess what? What he criticized, and this was in March of 2025, he's still doing the same. If it's bad, as he himself stated, I'm going to send it to you. And hopefully viewers, on this occasion of being an opposition member with facts, the producer will play it. Yes.
So, okay.
I'm sending it. This same person, a year on, has
blackmail.
It's not blackmail. It's not blackmail.
Don't use that word.
It's not blackmail. She's just like she wants to buttress her point with a video.
I'm saying that
story of an opposition,
it's the saddest thing. Your courts are not for you. The media is against you.
No.
Your co-panelists teams with the hosts. We are orphans in the political space, but we will never give up.
This one.
So too, that I am.
The good thing is that in all opposition parties, not just NPP.
Okay, so
let
you want to address the issues?
I'm really.
Akosua, Bryce wants to see the video. Yes, please.
The thing is, both of us here, we didn't go to gold trading school.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Both of us here, honorable.
But I was privileged to be the minister who was
so
responsible for lands and natural resources.
Okay, so then you should.
PMMC was under me.
Then in no way should you be comfortable about your 1.7 billion.
Of course, you have no one has
You
said
should
that.
not be comfortable
You
with
see,
it.
the problem with Akosua is
as a
that
senior
it appears to
member
me.
of the NDC, let me tell you, the
Akosua,
first time I saw him was Tamale Central.
Okay.
There was a program,
Okay.
National Youth Authority. We went to inaugurate a youth parliament.
Okay.
He came to speak.
All right.
And I said, wow, these are the people that we should amplify as politicians. But today, no, you see,
what, Akosua?
Any elderly person speaking for the NDC is scared. Did you see what they did to Neil and Tebana? A whole Neil and Tebana.
I'm not scared.
And comes to sit
here
and try to dismiss and make it a normal case. It's not been resolved. That apology was reset.
You ran for Adente.
Yes, MP.
It was reset.
So
that 1.7 billion is what we are talking about. It's not about
you that is 1.7 billion.
Let's find that money.
Let's find that money. Let's follow the money.
Okay.
I agree.
Right.
But following the money means that we have to be honest with our conversation.
Right.
What I've seen and heard Akosua say, or Honorable say, is she's trying to set questions by herself and answer those questions.
Right.
This is not what we are here for. And I understand my invitation to be centered around what is Gold Board, the relationship between Gold Board and Bank of Ghana and the 1.7 billion.
80% of your argument was on Afenyo marking and Sami. That's not why we're here. That is why I am saying I am here for the 1.7 billion.
So I think that let's not distort the news.
All right.
Because if you want to distort the news, it will not favor you. NDC did not demonstrate against the Bank of Ghana because they had run at a loss. NDC demonstrated, and I was part of the demonstration, because Governor Addison printed money far and beyond the acceptable limits of 5% of the previous year's revenue.
So it's a crime?
It's a crime.
Okay.
It's a crime. In fact, I have advocated that Addison should be held accountable for that. Because Parliament knew, the people of Ghana knew, that if you print money, we call it quantitative easing, to support government beyond 5%, it will dislocate the economy. It will cause problems. And then he did that.
Money this month.
And he did that. Now, when he was doing that, he did not find it wise. He did not find it prudent to come back to Parliament to explain the reasons why he was going to breach the law, to either seek an amendment of the law, to print more, but did it with impunity. It is that impunity cannot sit with democracy. Everybody must be held accountable. That was a demonstration. We were demonstrating against impunity, acts of impunity. In fact, today we are having a conversation on the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana has not gone into negative equity. With the $1.7 billion loss, the Bank of Ghana today is in a stronger position. What IMF is saying is that loss and the gold for domestic gold purchase program poses significant risk to the operations of the Bank of Ghana. That is why the Bank of Ghana no longer pre-finances the purchase of gold by the Gold Board.
Yes.
Okay, but it did not say that Bank of Ghana is negative equity. And in 2022-23, our demonstration was that our bank.
And also here with us is a former MP for Tamale Central, and also a former Lands and Natural Resources Minister, and also a former Roads and Highways Minister. Kusi, please do this in just 5 minutes because our time is almost up.
Okay. See, more when you do these side commentary and things, so like the full.
Oh, really? hey, she can't wait. She can't wait.
I don't like that.
All right.
You see? Again, what we should be concerned about is the cost.
Yeah.
The losses. All right. Now, the operational cost is 14% of the gold purchase. Right. The target for operational costs, as earmarked by Gold Board, is 5%. So if we are doing 14%, that's almost 3 times what you've put down. It screams ineptitude, it screams incompetence, it screams they don't know what they are doing. And for which, if we are asking valid questions, we have a right to. You cannot be running these losses. IMF stated there was a failure of cost control. Now let me say, let's position this clearly. If in 2025, 14% of the costs of operations is at Gold Board, in 2026 alone, according to the IMF, they are doing 11% in the first quarter, meaning that by the time the year ends, if I'm looking at the rate at which they are going, that will always be 30%. That's why I'm saying that we're now going to look at a near almost $3 billion. The video you played told you that he said the policy was good, but then when they go and trade, when they come back to BOG, they trade at Bloomberg prices. And so in their thinking, to cure that, To cure that, what did they do? He became a monopoly where he determines the price. Yet in determining the price, he's even running at 3 times his own operations cost. And now when we are asking this young man, who seems to be the smartest in his party right now, for which elders of his party can't even try and make a concession as far as public goodwill is concerned, to claw back some goodwill as a result of his posture as far as this issue is concerned. When they apologize on his behalf, the rank and file of the party descend on him. And this man writes a statement. In fact, I've never seen Inante write such a wordy statement in my life. Where elders of his party, early Monday morning, are deployed on stations to make it a conversation about him and Afenyo marking and not a substantive issue. For me, 1.7 billion would have set up 4 women's development banks. 1.7 billion, according to the president last year in February, said that was all that was needed to complete Agenda 111. For me, 1.7 billion is almost a third of what, actually a quarter maybe, of what Guzi Tando is crying right now at the Jubilee House, begging and pleading that anything concerning 24-hour economy policy, he knows nothing about it because they do not have any budget or resources to run the operations. That is what should concern us. That a young man that he's mentored sits at an agency and decides that he has brought 10 billion to the state. What's the value of that 10 billion? Where is it?
Okay, because let me
if it was him, you ask us 10 billion, where have you seen it? If it was him, that was what you'd be asking us.
Akosua says that on Monday they deploy elderly men.
I didn't say elderly. I said the senior elderly people yes, to come and defend it.
This is because we care.
Like
we care
enough about the 1.7.
We are not prepared to send him to the
care about Ghana
because NPP says so.
Care about Ghana.
We care, and we owe him a duty of care.
Save the young.
Haven't understood his predicament.
The merchants of Venice who sold gold.
The propaganda that has been unleashed against him. He has to come out from our retirement to defend him.
The one who assigned
let me bring in our viewers now. So Alhaji Suwari from New York says it is worth noting how the NPP has flip-flopped since this whole debate started. They initially claimed that Gold Board had incurred losses. After facing pushback from right-thinking Ghanaians and struggling to sustain the narrative, they have now shifted their position to talking about losses arising from the domestic gold purchasing program. We must thank Ghanaians for refusing to fall for the deliberate disinformation. By the way, Moro, it was the same NPP that only a few months ago was taking credit for the relatively stable economy under this government, arguing that it was largely due to the domestic gold purchasing program introduced under Bawumia. Today, the same people are suddenly highlighting the cost of the program as losses. But if the program was designed with such cost and similar losses were incurred under the NPP, where were the corresponding economic-wide benefits then? We all saw the excruciating economic hardship Ghanaians suffered under Bawumia and his boss. Why should the same program be celebrated when they want credit for its successes but suddenly condemned as a loss-making program when discussing its cost under the current administration? You cannot have it both ways. Samuel Brian Boabing, he says that Moro is the governor of the Bank of Ghana or a representative of this government, not below the rank of a director and nominated by the governor, not a member of Gold Board's governing board. If so, why has he remained silent on this whole issue? Is he focused on this vice presidential ambitions that he simply cannot be bothered, and as such Ghanaians can go to hell? No problem. What he should note is that there may come a time when he can no longer rely on doctors for 60-40 Noli Prosequi. Help. At that time cometh not. Samuel Boabin sends this message. Carlos from Ododo Dio, he says that, Bramoro, respectfully, you have wasted our time. If not, the Honorable Enos Hussaini was in the studio. Like, you have wasted our time. You know, the MEP rep, the lady there, she knows next to nothing about Gold Board and its operations. She doesn't have the capacity and the capability to discuss these issues in the institution, and they ultimately create an opportunity for these groups to continue their activities and smuggle Ghana's gold outside the country. If you listen carefully to the comments attributed to the Archbishop, one may get the impression that there is a well-coordinated effort behind some of these developments. There are also allegations that a huge amount of money has been committed to this agenda, with part of the money allegedly already disbursed. These are serious allegations and they should not simply be dismissed or accepted without proper investigation. If there is evidence of financial inducement, political interference, or an organized attempt to undermine Good Board for the purpose of facilitating illegal goods smuggling, the appropriate institutions should investigate the matter thoroughly. Carlos, and I say God bless you. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm, he says that, good morning, my brother. In fact, my uncle Alhaji Yusuf Seni has made justice to this issue of Good Board this morning. He has actually made my day. Let me say, I'm very happy to see Mr. Solomauso and another citizen petition Parliament and other security agencies to investigate the issue of extortion against Afenyo Marking. They should not be left to die a natural death. Today, Afenyo Marking is out there complaining on his personal attacks, but he has soon forgotten that he's out there making serious allegations against the CJ without any evidence to support the claim. The allegation he has leveled against the CJ is so serious, and I expect the legal counsel to call him to provide evidence to support his claim. Akosua just peddled falsehood which needs to be corrected. No one in Parliament has invited Sami Gyamfi, and he has refused. It was rather Sami Gyamfi who asked them to invite him, and they refused to do so. Now, this one, yes. No, to be fair to her, she didn't say that. She didn't say that Parliament has invited him. She said she would want Parliament to invite him. So there's a difference. I didn't say I want Parliament to invite him. Is the Parliament should get to the bottom of it? Should get to the bottom of it.
Yes, the minority wanted to probe. They wanted an inquiry into the losses.
Yes.
And it was shut down. And I'm saying that why are they covering up on it? It does not mean
but the gentleman says he wants that probe to happen.
He does.
He said it's happening again. He said he's looking forward to that. He said
no, I'm not saying the gentleman. I'm saying the one who texted.
Okay.
I mean, there's opportunity to correct this.
All right. Let me
four NDC messages.
So this one, Guy G says. So does this extortion shift not weaken what could otherwise have been a legitimate demand for answers from those who caused the losses? And why is BOJ missing in the quest for accountability? This current loss is bigger than before. And we should demand. Honorable Pacho, I beg you. And